If you're considering buying luxury real estate right now, you have options. You could buy in Palm Beach, you could buy in the Hamptons, you could buy in Aspen, or you could buy right here on 30A. So today, I want to answer the bigger question: how does 30A compare to the luxury markets in the rest of the nation? Not just from a lifestyle standpoint, but from an investment standpoint. Because luxury isn't just about price. It's about value. It's about positioning, lifestyle, return on investment. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly where 30A sits on the national luxury map. Right now, the average luxury home sale price along 30A is right around $2.2 million. Now that has corrected slightly since the frenzy back in 2022, but it has stabilized. Now compare that nationally. The national entry point for luxury real estate is roughly $1.1 to $1.2 million. 30A sits well above the national luxury baseline, but significantly below ultra-elite coastal markets like Palm Beach, the Hamptons, and certain areas of coastal California. In those markets, prime properties regularly trade at $5 million, $10 million, even $20 million plus. But here's what's interesting. On 30A, the $10 million plus segment has actually doubled in transaction activity recently. Now that tells us something important. High net worth buyers are not ignoring this market. They're positioning themselves in it. If you want hyperlocal breakdown by neighborhood, not just averages, make sure you subscribe. I release detailed market-related insights here regularly. I recently got a condo under contract in Alys Beach. Super nice condo. The price was too high, and we were trying to negotiate over a few days to get my buyer the right price. Just talked about how much inventory was on the market and everything that there was to do with negotiating. We got the price down to where my buyer felt comfortable, pulled the trigger, and now we're going to be closing in a few weeks. Now let's talk about lifestyle. Palm Beach is prestige. The Hamptons is legacy. Aspen is seasonal exclusivity. 30A is livable luxury. It's walkability, it's community, it's architecture with intention. There are so many communities, each with their own look and feel, and a lot of different architecture. Now, let's layer in demand drivers. Florida sees approximately 143 million visitors per year. Tourism supports nearly 2 million jobs in the state. That is a massive economic engine supporting hospitality, local restaurants, service industries, short-term rental markets. And when you look specifically at high-demand 30A communities like Seaside, Rosemary Beach, WaterColor, peak season occupancy can exceed 90%. That kind of tourism infrastructure creates a very different investment backdrop than a purely seasonal prestige market. Now, back in the day, 30A was more of a seasonal market, but about every year or two, we bring in another festival and things to do throughout the year, which continues to bring more and more tourists here throughout the year. So whenever you're talking about renting, you can rent a lot more days per year than you use. And obviously, this will bring up your income if you're using your home as a rental investment. Now, let's be clear, this is not a guaranteed income conversation. Seasonality does matter. Winter occupancy can drop significantly if property is not marketed correctly. But well-positioned homes, walkable, updated, close to the beach, generate significant annual rental revenue. So now the buyer question becomes, what are you buying for? Is it pure lifestyle? Is it a hybrid of lifestyle and rental income? Or is it just long-term appreciation? That strategy conversation is different for every client. If you want to run real numbers on a specific property, carrying cost, projected income, insurance estimates, just give me and my team a call at 850-231-7026. We'll be happy to walk you through it property by property. Now let's talk about something that could reshape this conversation even more. There's currently a discussion in Florida about possibly phasing out certain non-school property taxes on primary residences. If voters approve this, this could significantly reduce tax burdens on full-time residents. For luxury buyers on 30A, this means that primary residences might become even more attractive, potentially boosting prices. However, second homes and investment properties would still be taxed. So now you have layered strategy. Primary residence buyer, potential long-term tax advantage. Second home buyer, lifestyle plus rental positioning. Pure investor, income plus appreciation model. Add to that the fact that Florida has no state income tax, and you begin to see why migration from high tax states continues. Now, here's the interesting part. If tax burdens decrease for homesteaded properties, what typically happens? Prices adjust upward because lower carrying costs capitalize into home values. That's why timing matters. I have had tons of clients that moved to Florida not only because they will be in Florida, it's a great place, but on top of that, the bonus was they saved so much money in taxes. They moved here, they moved their business here, and they don't have to pay any income tax. Now listen, inventory has ticked up a bit since the frenzy years. Days on market has definitely increased, but that gives buyers something they didn't have in 2021 and 2022. Leverage. Not huge leverage, but more negotiation room. The ultra luxury segment still remains tight. So, how does 30A stack up? When you compare 30A nationally, it's above the average luxury price tier, below ultra trophy pricing markets. It's backed by massive tourism infrastructure, supported by migration trends, potentially enhanced by tax strategy, and still constrained by limited land supply. That is a very interesting position to be in. Not overinflated prestige, not overlooked, and strategically positioned. If you're considering a full-time move, a second home, a luxury investment, or you just want to see what your options are, you can call me directly at 850-231-7026. And if you found this video helpful, please share it with someone who's been thinking about 30A. Remember, smart luxury decisions are not made emotionally. They're made strategically. And 30A deserves to be evaluated on the national stage. We'll see you next time.